Thank you for joining us. My name is Justin Crouch, and I am here today interviewing Sharika Robinson, an attorney and a member of the Canton, Michigan Beloved Community Leadership Team. Sharika, thank you for joining me today. Could you provide our audience with a little background? What is the Beloved Community?
The Beloved Community is an organization that was created to address and eradicate forms of racism, implicit biases in the Plymouth Canton community. And it consists of a group of individuals that includes myself, Stephen Spricer, who is the CEO of the Michigan Roundtable, Lauren Congali, she is the president of the Michigan ACLU, Summer Foster, who works for Equality Michigan, Brian Smith, who is the pastor at Geneva Presbyterian, Amina, who is a Muslim lady, and she belongs to various organizations, too many to name. PCCDI is one, she's on that leadership team. Also, it's Amina Ahmed. And Yvette Crockett, she works for Kellogg Foundation, and she does a lot of diversity training for that. And I feel like, George Belbridge also. And George Belbridge is a former director of secondary education for the Plymouth Canton school system. So it's a pretty solid group of individuals on the leadership team.
Okay. Next question. When did the community first form and what was its charge?
The Beloved Community formed about a year ago, and I like to think that it formed kind of very uniquely. Our charge really was to address racism here, and it actually formed because a group of children who I had the benefit of talking to and hearing from and listening to explain their circumstances at the park, and it was just dire, and I felt that the issues that they explained to me needed to be addressed. And so I will never forget that day. It was November 2013. Those children were talking, and they talked about how on a daily basis they are hit with racial slurs, how that when they report those incidents, nothing is done, and that it seemed to be the culture. And I thought, oh my gosh, we can't have children going to school in these types of circumstances. And there didn't seem to be a group that was out there and ready to address those. So that was the charge at that point. It was immediately to, one, highlight these issues, and two, talk about diversity in a way that didn't seem negative, but to educate people about it and to create programs that would bring the community together.
Thank you. What other events has the community sponsored?
So we started with the Cracking the Code series, a video that discusses privilege and racism. It's very educational. And then we went from that and we hosted community discussions, kind of open forums. We hosted discussions at the mosque in response to the police brutality incidents that are happening across the country. We held some in Geneva, the essay contest, which you know your brother was a winner, which was one of my favorites because we really got the kids involved at that point. The kids are now thinking about diversity, and it's not such a negative conversation. The school board election panel deals with that. And we have a very good platform, I believe. But those are some of the most notable. Oh, and the December 8th Judge Keith event, that was another event that was linked to the Beloved Community.
Okay. The next one is, how did the Beloved Community Scholarship come to be? When did the planning begin? And why did the community choose the scholarship?
Okay, let me start with your latter question first. The community chose a scholarship because you are the future. I'm not. And it all begins with kids, in my mind and in the Beloved Community's heart. And so we really want to touch you all and to tap into your resources so that you all can go out there and do phenomenal things that will lead us. That is why we start with the essay contest. And the question was just to get you all thinking about what is diversity. Because I think you hear the word said a lot, but you don't necessarily think about it. And we wanted the community as a whole to think, about how and what you all could do to make Clinton Canton a better place, a more solid unity. And it actually came about as we were discussing goals and objectives. We have a mission statement, and we always like to think, well, is this achieving the mission? If the mission is to make the schools a better place, how do we do it if we don't tap into our youth? And so I am, one, very, very proud of the Beloved Community for that event. As I said before, I think it's probably my most favorite of all of the events, because even reading the essays, the ideas that the students were able to come up with, and the passion that was put into the paper, it was very touching.
In your opinion, how diverse is the Plymouth Canton community, and how do you see it changing over time?
Well, let's start with what is diversity. I think a lot of people focus on diversity and think race immediately. I don't do that. I think you're diverse if you have different perspectives. I said that before. You come from a different zip code, different ideologies, frame of thinking, different backgrounds. And so I think Plymouth Canton is very diverse. Even racially, it's becoming more and more diverse. And I view that as a good thing. It's a good thing to be a melting pot of people, of ideals, of understandings, because then you can advance. You can't advance if everyone thinks the same, if everyone looks the same, if everyone has the same frame of point. You cannot grow. And the diversity will do nothing but help Plymouth Canton, but you got to find a way to nurture it and to grow it and to not fight against it, because I think naturally the human instinct sees something different and wants to challenge it and wants to make it similar. But you have to embrace the diversity.
What has Plymouth Canton Plymouth's history in dealing with diversity?
To follow, I think that question kind of piggybacks to
Last one.
yes. And from what I could see looking at the data, the fact that, just take for example the school data, K through 5, African American children do not meet the state level in K through 5. It's reading, math, whatever. They're all below the state average. And so when I see numbers like that, I don't think that the objective, that the goal is being met very well. And I don't think that the color of your skin should be an indicator of how successful you are in school. And so that to me says that there are things, there are intangibles that numbers don't necessarily show, but they allude to and they tell you what the problem is. And so when you talk to the students, like I talked to one kid and I asked him, I said, well, what happened to you? He said that in second grade, he realized how different he was when his teacher didn't want to talk to him. And so that's a problem to me. I don't think that diversity is embraced well. I think that people probably say it is because there is no direct racism. But if a child in second grade doesn't feel embraced, then that is a problem.
What future challenges do you see community facing?
I think the community is going to face a huge problem if we don't truly try to learn how to live in harmony and respect one another. And I'm not talking about, I don't bother you, you get that a lot, or I have my black friend, or I have my white friend. I think that we have to all live in harmony, and that we have to all strive to ensure that each other are treated equally. But I also feel that we have to all truly believe that we are equals, and that it is coming from the African American race, the black race. You know, I have discussions with them, just held a meeting in this exact room, and a black parent said, well, I don't expect the school district to educate my child. Why not? If that is the expectation, then it establishes why the school district isn't, because if your child is failing, you're not advocating for your child. You seem to take the full responsibility when you pay the taxes and you send your child to school. And so I think that African Americans and blacks have to become better advocates for equality and understand that when you speak up, it's not militant. You're doing exactly what you should do for your children. I think that also we have to see ourselves as equals, on equal footing. There can be no more backdoor discussions about this is how you make it in the world. I think you could maybe have those discussions and tailor it to a certain extent, but I think that you really have to hold all people accountable and stop looking at race, but look at actions.
Are there currently any popular social events that celebrate this diversity?
In the community, one event that I was, another event that I was kind of most proud of too, and I left this out when you asked about what events we hosted. We most recently hosted the Charleston March against racism. And it was beautiful because there were Sikh representatives, there were Hindu representatives, there were Muslim representatives, there was, black representatives, white, and everybody came together. Everybody came together and said, hey, we're not standing for what happened in Charleston. We don't agree that people should be targeted because of their race. And it really made me feel good because I wasn't just supported, and we weren't just supported by black people, we were supported by the whole community. And I'd like to see more of those types of events where the whole community gets out and supports one another when something evil happens or something malicious happens. And we don't even have to, what if we didn't have to wait until something malicious happened? What if we hosted career fairs or events where everybody came and where everyone felt welcome?
Why did the community decide to choose this topic for the essay contest?
The local community really needed to hear from the youth. As I said before, we have our ideas, but I like to keep in mind that they are also tainted by our experiences. And we're trying to develop a community that we think would be beneficial for the youth. But what if the youth told us what they thought? And so a lot of those ideas will frame what we do this upcoming year. And so the essay question was tailored to really get a look and an insight into what you all thought.
How many students participated in the essay contest?
There were about 150 essays. So a lot of work for us.
Wasn't this the first year of the contest?
This was the first year, but it definitely won't be the last. And we're already thinking of ways that we can make it grow. Of course, throwing more money out there will increase the number of participants, but also expanding the questions. We've thought about different forms of art, so not just essay, it could be a painting, but yeah, so it was definitely the first, but not the last.
What challenges did you face this year, and how do you plan to address them next year?
We face many challenges. I'm the kind of person who likes things done yesterday, and so we announced the essay contest at the December 8th Just Keep event. You would think between December and February, you planned it and it's solid and it's pretty much ready and set to go. However, in between those times, we were hosting a number of other events and community discussions and planning and agenda. And so the scholarship contest was so important to us that we met a total of 3 times for 3 hours, and each went home with work to do in order to get the scholarship and the packet implemented and the questions decided. So there were many challenges, I think, in timing. But next year, I think that because it's the first year, it's so difficult. The packet wasn't there. We already have the platform now, and so Yes, there are. We've had discussions in which we've talked about using the students as liaisons between the community and the beloved community in their school system, because as I said before, I think children are the absolute most critical piece to this discussion, to this solution. And so using them and their ideas in a way, in a method to relate to their peers is one. I also talked about a plaque that I would like hung somewhere in the library. And so I want to honor these kids, and I want these kids to forever be connected to the beloved community, which is them.
If any of our viewers would like to get personally involved, who should they contact?
If any of the viewers would like to get personally involved, they can contact me. They can contact any one of the members, and I'll give that information to you, and you can post it.
Is there anything else that I haven't covered that you would like everyone to know?
No, I think you've done a phenomenal job. I'm actually very, very impressed with you and your interest in the beloved community. If I could add anything, I would just like to say that the beloved community shouldn't be limited to Plymouth Canton. To those who are out there and feel that their community needs to address these issues, please do so. And if you'd like help with starting a beloved community in your locale, please just contact me at the information that will be provided by Justin.
Sharika, thank you for joining us today. It's truly been a pleasure.
Oh, thank you for having me.
I would like to leave everyone with these ideas. Transportation. At no other time in history has man had the ability to physically move throughout the world so quickly and efficiently. With technology, at no other time in history has man had the ability to share ideas, information throughout the world so quickly and efficiently. The world has never before ever seen change at this rate of speed. No other country on this planet is as diverse as the United States, with a generation that truly embraces its diversity. Rooted in mutual understanding and mutual respect, we have the capability to spark the next evolution of society, one that builds on the best that each and every one of us has to offer. We are one.